So this is my case study for Module 8, and I decided to do my case study on a student, and I changed his name for privacy reasons. But this student is in my 6th grade class, and he is having a little bit of trouble adjusting this year. So here's a little background on the student. So the student whose name I changed, he's having difficulty with his peers and forming positive relationships with his peers. Often I get complaints about the things that he does. He takes them off task during lessons. There's lots of like hitting and playing and stuff like that. And I don't think he has like ill intent when he hits. I think he's just kind of a playful kid. But the times when he decides to play is usually in inappropriate times, like during an instruction, you know, when we have a destination to get to in the hallway, so things like that. So I've had numerous students do things like slide me letters or poke me and pull me to the side and say like, hey, Wylan, in quotations, is doing this. He's bothering me. I can't take notes because he's saying stuff and he's playing around and he's laughing and he's joking. Or they might say like, Wylan is not allowing me to do the things that I need to do in class and take care of my responsibilities. So he's having difficulty fostering positive interactions with his peers, and that's been the case since the beginning of the school year. Part of my roles in class is respect each other in words, respect each other in actions, and respect each other in thoughts. And he quite often operates outside of those guidelines and those boundaries. And he quite frequently steps outside of them, calling people out of their name. And I think he takes it as playful, and other students do not as much. So that's a picture of my classroom setup right there, the actual classroom. At the beginning of the year, you can't really see his seat on camera. However, it is right around, if you think of the perspective, right around where the picture is being taken from. So that's where Wylan sits. He sits somewhere around there. All right. So the first thing I thought about doing is seeing where he is academically, seeing where he sits academically, and maybe that could inform me on reasons why he may be struggling and choose odd times to function outside of the rules and guidelines that were given to him. So, I pulled up his every year in Chicago. I'm sure in other places, but specifically in Chicago, we have to take a test called the NWEA. Now, the beginning of the year test, the fall test, is optional, and it's just to see where the students are coming off of summer break. And usually students drop. That's not uncommon. Actually, it's quite frequent that students lose information over the summer break. But something struck me about Wylan's score. Wylan's in the first percentile, and he has been in the first percentile not only in reading but also in mathematics for the good part of a full year. So from fall to fall. So last fall to this fall, where he currently took the test, He scored a 169 in math. That's top section, by the way, is math. And he scored a 169 in math last year in 5th grade, and he scored a 176 this year in 6th grade, which is first percentile. Now you can see from the fall of 5th grade to the spring of 5th grade, he went from the first percentile to the second percentile, but that is still way lower than the normative for his grade. So he's in the first percentile, and they have a projection growth of him of 10 points. So they want him to go up to a 186, which even the 186 is still well below the normative for 6th grade. So now the normative for 6th grade is a 217. Jalen scored 41 points below the 6th grade mean score. So on the bell curve, he sits towards the end of the curve, for lack of a better word. And it's much of the same for reading. If you look, he had a 148 in reading, and he grew almost 30 points, 22 points from a 148 to a 170 from the beginning of 5th grade to the end of 5th grade. And he dropped a little bit, just a tiny bit, over the summer going into 6th grade. So here is a graph representation of his score on the NWEA.